Now that we have the Wolf L21 and 22, does the Gladius still reign supreme, or is there a new Alpha in town? For years the Gladius was king, making #1 in our best light fighters comparison vid, but it's been a while, with many big updates since then, and with the release of the Ballistic Wolf and Laser Alpha, it's time to see how Squadron 42's premier fighter holds up. It's more than just 2 size 4 weapons versus 3 size 3s, it's a fight for dominance in the verse for both PvE and PvP players alike. Let's start with the L21 Wolf, a ballistic light fighter by Kruger Intergalactic that you can pick up for 2.38 million Alpha USC in-game. The only decent stock components you get is a Grade B Foxfire competition quantum drive and 2 relentless L21 ballistic Gatling guns with 4,200 rounds of ammo each. The L21 also comes with 8 size 1 missiles. This small fighter is 21.5 meters long, 4.2 meters tall, weighs 37,500 kilograms and has a max SEM speed of 230 meters per second. Now let's talk handling, firepower and overall strength. This ship is definitely the most nimble light fighter of the 3, feeling right on par with the Arrow with regards to handling. If you're like me who like to yank your joysticks while fighting, keeping control definitely takes some practice. I absolutely love the sound of the ballistic Gatling guns, but they just feel extremely underpowered, especially noticeable once you reach MRT and higher bounty targets. It's definitely the weaker light fighter of these 3 in terms of firepower, and that tail at the bottom is just ridiculous. But here's something interesting, the L21 Wolf actually has one of the highest HP pools of all light fighters, with a hull strength of 8,523. Pretty impressive, but that's still not good enough to make it compete with the Gladius and Alpha, unfortunately. Moving on. Next we're hopping into the Gladius Valiant variant. Squadron 42's prize fighter by Aegis Dynamics. The Valiant is a tribute to Condi Hillard, the first human to triumph over a Vandal. But what's the difference between the Gladius and Valiant? Many players will tell you it's just a paint job and better stock components, but it's much more than that. Both can be purchased in-game for 2.3 and 2.7 mil respectively. And while the stock weapons and missiles are better on the Valiant, both have military grade C components. The Valiant is also 2,394 kilograms lighter and 500 centimeters shorter in height, making it slightly more agile. Both have a max SEM speed of 225 meters per second, slightly slower than the 2 Wolf variants. The difference in speed isn't too noticeable, but I'll tell you what is: the firepower. Oh, I've got something badass to show you. But more on that after we've covered the Alpha. For this part of the video, I've picked most players' favorite PvE weapon, 3 attrition 3s. More on PvP later. The Gladius is the F-14 of Star Citizen, and if you're a fan of Top Gun the movie, you'll love the Valiant. It's a bit easier to control than the L21 Wolf, so staying on target is a lot easier. Even though the L21 has roughly 2,400 more hit points, the Gladius just feels better in almost every way, and it's a bit cheaper. And finally, the L22 Alpha Wolf by Kruger Intergalactic. Surely it's better than the Gladius, right? Now, if you've ever wanted a bigger Merlin or Archimedes, this one's for you. Best part about the Alpha Wolf is that it comes with a stock A-grade military quantum drive, the VK00, which is the best size one apart from an Atlas if you want to squeeze out more distance. You also get the Axiom L22 laser repeaters only found on the Alpha Wolf at the time of making this video, so you'll never run out of ammo. The L22 shares the same dimensions and SEM speed as the L21, but it's a lot sleeker in design. I also like the paint scheme a lot more, as well as the fact that it doesn't have that ridiculous tail of the L21. Which brings us to handling. The Alpha Wolf handles like a dream both in space and atmosphere. It feels right on par with the Gladius here. But what about firepower? On the lower tier bounties and smaller targets, there's a noticeable difference between the L21 and 22. The Alpha being the obvious stronger one of the two when we talk time to kill. But here's an interesting fact. Did you know that the L21 Wolf has more hit points than the Alpha at the time of recording this? 801 more to be exact. Though honestly, the L22 feels stronger once the shields go down. Weird. Overall though, the Gladius keeps top spot, despite having the lowest hull strength and overall speed. Why is that, you might ask? Firepower. You see, the two relentless L21 Gatling guns have a combined sustained DPS of 1084 with 7 seconds of continuous fire. The two Axiom L22 laser repeaters have a combined sustained DPS of 1133 and give you 6 seconds of continuous fire. For the Gladius, let's look at the most popular PvE and PvP weapon loadouts. 3 attrition 3s, the overall favorites for PvE, will give you 1632 DPS with 12.9 seconds of continuous fire, whereas the PvP favorite of 3 NDB 30s will give you 1300 DPS with 9 seconds continuous fire, both beating the Wolves in terms of firepower by a big margin. Now, remember when I said I have something awesome to share earlier? Well, watch this. If you like dogfighting like me, meaning you prefer to stick close to your targets and forget you have missiles, there's one weapon that crushes everything in PvP and PvE, making both the L21 Wolf and L22 Alpha seem like babies in comparison. And that's the Dominance 3 laser scatterguns, increasing the damage of the Gladius to a whopping 2633 sustained DPS. That's more than double the firepower of the L21 and 22. The only downsides being that you have to get close and click with every shot, but it's totally worth it. Now, we've talked about which light fight is best between the Gladius, L21 and L22 Alpha Wolf, but there are many other options to choose from. One standing out in particular for me personally. Check out this video and see if you can spot which ship I'm talking about.